Hi guys, LEGO Military Mox here once again with a new video, or more part 2 of a video. So we're going to go left to right of this base of my mock. If I walk all the way to the back of my bedroom and twist my phone, that is the entire mock. It took me about, I'd say 20 or so hours, maybe even more, I don't know, I didn't really keep count. So what you have for the forest is basically trees, and then I'll get into more of the groundworks. So here you've got wood piece style for the tree trunk, and then I'm using basically 3x4 leaf pieces, just in green, a few in olive and a few in lime, just because I had olive and lime already in the collection, and then I ordered more green. I probably did about 2/3 of those trees, and then ordered the rest in, so I just did not have a large quantity. So this is my custom design to what I know. I've never seen anyone else come up with the idea. I've never seen it in use. I've seen a lot of other ideas, but never this design. So now from the trees onto the ground, you have Mandalorians all fighting. You have some over there as well. And then you have some more on the Mandalorian speeder bikes. Another one there underneath the trees. And then really for the ground, I didn't want to put too much into it, but I didn't want it just to be flat, so I feel like, as you can see with the base, it just doesn't look so great just being flat. So I added in just some plates, really, that was all, and then some grass pieces. And you'll see over a few times some mounds of just green, of plates and so on. So yeah, that's really all that's going on over here. And then if we get to, then we go to the other side, it's the exact same, just maybe some more grass all throughout, a bit more green. But really it's all just kept to the same colour of green. That was the main base of the idea, was that all the forest would be a green colour. Because in Star Wars you have things being lime, being dark green, being brown. Star Wars is Star Wars, use your imagination. I'm sure there's a planet with a red forest or green forest. With a blue forest or a yellow forest. Something. So, I decided just go with your generic green forest. And then you have the dirt road. The Republic really don't have the money to work on an actual road. So they just kept to a dirt road. Why not? And with the dirt road, you've just got 1x1 and 1x2 plates all around the place. Just for a bit more detail to make it look a bit more rough. And in the back, you have your Separatist tank, and then you have your Super Battle Droids, B2 Super Battle Droids, and then you have 29 B1 Battle Droids, and just a Battle Droid drivers. I needed a spare to finish off the 5th row of 6, and General Grievous in front, leading the army, and now he's talking to the Jedi, saying, "Surrender, Jedi scum, or be annihilated," and the Jedi's like, "Yeah, try, mate, but we're going to destroy you because, I've got Anakin Skywalker in the back." And you'll see what I mean. So then, just before we get to the river, in between the banks, you have dark green, brown, and then, so it's all the way, and then you've got the bridge. And it's the same on both sides. All the brown and dark green parts aren't the same on both sides. Same piece, but they're all randomly in place. Because, I don't like things always being symmetrical. When it comes to nature, not my cup of tea. Don't make things symmetrical, except for the road being a certain size and each side being 9 4x4 plates long. That's it. There's nothing else special about it. There's no grass or the trees in the same place. It isn't. Just not what I do. So you have speeder, and then you have just Mandalorians, and then you've got the droid army. So what I did here was, if I remove this is just blue plates underneath with 1x2 light bluish grey tiles. I got a bunch last year actually, in October from the Lego store. And then I did put the same plate on just brown plates to give it more of a murkier colour. And I used these to make it more look muddy, so it's more like muddy terrain, so it's watery mud. And then you just get to that reddish brown plates and a few dark green pieces to give it a bit of a, muddy feel, but also a bit of green feel from the grass. And yes, it's very close to the mud at some points, I know. And over here, it's on the mud. Weird, right? How does that work? Don't ask about nature in Star Wars. Nobody knows. It is Star Wars. So then here, just before we get to the grand old wall, you have your colonel, no, not colonel, but corporal, sorry, clone trooper over there. You have another clone trooper. All these 5 clone troopers are 501st on the ground, in front of the wall. You've got a soldier with a Gatling gun. Then you have 2 more clone troopers, all getting ready, and I need to twist his head with his blaster, actually. We're going to move his blaster to aim at this guy, because I feel like he's aiming at that guy. And then, everybody's picking all their targets. The Gatling gunner is going for the center of those droids, try to take out as many as possible. And then we go from the trusty old, forest to, a bit of green, a bit of mound, a bit of grass, but no trees. There are no trees over here. And that is because they don't want to block the wall. And this is my wall I built. It is 2 grey base plates long and 6 bricks wide. So you may be thinking, this doesn't look like one amazing wall, it just looks like a bunch of bricks. Truth be told, it is a bunch of bricks. But there's something special about it. Separatist tank and Republic tank. Now, while the Republic tank is lightly armoured compared to the Separatist tank, the Separatist tank cannot fit under there. The Republic tank can. And this was a tactic used by the Republic in the build of this wall, is to stop the Separatists being able to get their vehicles underneath. Now, while troops can, nothing else can. And that's because the Republic can fit their tanks and speeders underneath the wall. So that's why that tank is cannons aiming at there, at the tower, the command section of the wall, because it wants to make space for the tank to get in. Because, that's how the Separatists work. They want to use the space up. So that's the idea. And I just kicked some Lego, annoyingly. That is the price of having Lego on the floor. But then we come on top of the wall, and you have 5 clone troopers here, 5 clone troopers here, and the way they get up onto the wall is by a ladder over here and over here. And then you have a clone sniper and a clone ARC trooper jumping up, running over to this side of the wall to assist. And basically, on both sides of the wall, you have these grill pieces here being used as just, what's on top of the brick. So that's what the Republic wanted to do. That's what the people who designed the base wanted to do. If I remove these 3 plates, we can get to our trusty old clone captain or captain officer, who we put back in there, back in the wall, where you can just see he's now giving the higher ranking commander in this section of the tower what's going on. He's giving the briefing, and if you see with him, he's got some binoculars. And yeah, that's basically, the tower is very lightly filled due to just space restrictions. You can see you can basically fit a minifig sideways, so it's not got a lot in it. It's meant to be just a section for commanders to stand in so they don't get rained on or something. Officers are more superior than the regular trooper. Well, that's at least what they say. And then we come from having the tank here and all the Jedi and the clones getting ready into the main section of the base. So, you have now 5 buildings, or 6, mattering 2 if you count that building over there as 2. So it's basically 2 buildings. It has the lower building and the higher building have different jobs, but it's like 1 building, so 5 or 6, mattering 2 if you count it as 1 or 2. So we're going to start over here, and you have Anakin Skywalker, as I mentioned before, giving me instructions to 6 501st clone jetpack clone troopers, just telling them how he wants them to work, what's the plan, just what General does. And then you have next to them, just behind the tank, 4 clone troopers running behind the tank into battle. And then you have over here 2 speeders, and then you have just some more clone troopers. So this clone trooper here, and the one over there, where you can see running towards the speeder. So this guy and this guy are both getting ready to jump onto these speeders and get out there take on the separatists or recon or something. That's the job they're getting ready on the speeders. And then this guy over here that you can see I'm pointing to is going to the armory. So they've all exited the barracks here, being there are 2 barracks. There's this one here, then there's one here. Then there's an armory in the middle, because the Republic was like, let's put the armory in the middle so all the troops can get to them easily, and it's equal distance for some reason. Then on before each entrance there is a red and a green dot if it focuses. And that basically means a green dot means the door can be opened. A red dot means that the door is locked. So all the clone troopers, all these troopers live in here. So that's why it's locked, because they're all out. But you'll see in here, there's still some troops inside. So if we now move across to over here from my trusty old chair, you then take off the roof. I'm just using these pieces here to keep it connected. So basically you have a very generic looking barracks. You have a rack for helmets. You have 2 helmets on there. You have this clone trooper about to grab his helmet. And this is your clone, squad leader or something, your clone sergeant, if you will. Basically just getting the lowdown while walking to get his helmet. And then these are just the generic beds of the military. So I pull one out. You've got a very generic design. Don't think I saw anyone do this design. I could be wrong, so sorry if I don't quote anyone on the design. So yeah, but basically I just used these modified parts here, and then in between the bricks. Basically I just throw in 2x8 plates. And I just used 1x2 bricks to hold it up. So it's a really basic looking bunk bed, but it works for the task I wanted it to work for. And that's really all that's going on in here. You've got some jumper plates for clone troopers to stand on. So yeah, and then the doors are using modified 1x4 bricks. So you've got tile on there on top of the brick, and then I've used one of these here. I'm not going to take it off the door, but I've used one of these to create. I've used snot basically, being studs not on top, to make the door be open like that, to make it have raised up, so it's above the trooper, not to the side. Because this is Star Wars and they have those capabilities. I mean, we do have those capabilities nowadays, but not for your generic house. So, it's Star Wars. And then if I receive this, now the roof is back on, and every building has, in the middle, in the 4th layer of bricks, because it's 7, each building's 7 bricks tall, has, as you can see, a red line going through it. And I'm just using the 1x2 modified masonry brick. And this is the very generic armory, so you've just got 2 walls on both sides with some blasters left for these 2 guys and that one guy. And you've got your clone phase 1 sergeant running out, and these are they're all standing on jumper plates. And then this is the second barracks, being the exact same to this one, so I don't need to show that one off, because why would I? It just means you've got to watch longer, and I have to record longer. So the roof is meant to be built and connected, but it isn't, because it fell apart. Life is life. So yeah, so now we come to the garage. I'm British, so get over me using the word garage. So what you've got is 3 speeders, or small repair place. You've got a clone trooper just repairing up this speeder, and then you have these two clones and 1 clone in there, about to go to these speeders to get them going. And you've got this 1 clone trooper, engineer trooper, fixing it. And these doors do close, very generically. They close. They're not held on anything. They can come out. So there you go, that's the door. It's very easy to go. Now there's just a small workbench for supplies, for material. And then if I place my phone down, because I wouldn't either way need to place this down, easy. So the roof is a very easy fix. It's literally clip back onto all the plates. Make sure I do it correctly, because certain plates are in certain spots. And the idea was that this wasn't meant to come apart, but it seems it did. So before we get into the final building over here, I'm just going to come over here where you've got C3PO running away because he's a coward and everybody knows it because that's Star Wars for you. There's some comedy. R2-D2 following him and another droid following R2-D2 and C-3PO. And now if I put my phone back here, you will see me remove the first chunk, the second building layer. And here we go. So this is the dining area, the dining mess hall. So over here, nobody was sitting here, but the troops just now were called off and they had to go get their weapons. But you can see that 5 troops were sitting here, 1 was eating. And normally you'd have about 6 troops. No, you'd have about, no. You'd have approximately 4 or 5 per bench, so that's about 16 to 20 clone troopers in at one time. And then over here you've just got different MRE food packets. You've got brown or some form of brown, you've got dark green, you've got white, all different meals, who knows. And then the reason you have the middle wall is because you go from going here, you can either turn this way into the mess hall, into the mess area, the eating area, or you carry on straight to the elevator, and you can see with the green, it means that it is open, so you can use the green elevator. If I place my phone back here, again, being very useful how I built it this way. I re-bring this here, clip it back on, remove the roof, this time without it breaking on me. That it kind of broke on me, because I'm just being unlucky right now. Well, basically, this is the inside. You have your command table that actually should be the other way around. So there we go. So from left to right, you've got droids and then clones. Or Republic, you've got your commander looking out into the battle. And then you have some jumper plates for clone troopers to stand on. And you have some computers. You've got your weapon systems, you've got your command computer. You've got to control the doors and everything. You have 2 guys for there. And and all the troops out on the wall would work in here. That's what they do when they don't have to go fight, as they are just guarding the base. Then you have another computer, just basic computer, and then you have 4 radar computers just chilling over there in the corner. You have 2 clone troopers guarding the entrance to the lift. Got 1 clone trooper watching the lift because he just doesn't have a blaster. Then you have your commander with a Lego Star Wars small blaster chilling over there. So that is basically all that is going on in this one mock. So in 2 weeks, actually less, in 2 weeks, because I did have parts already. But in 2 weeks, I built all this, being quite an impressive build for my standards. So hopefully I'll have another video out. I'll be doing another series in December, maybe a bit sooner. But truth be told, I already have my plan for my next clone base. Going off this design, I'm going to keep the bridge and the river and the forest, but I'm going to change up the base. But this is going to come, in in at least 4 or 5 months' time. Back in around April, May. So for May the 4th, I'd build another mock, Star Wars mock. So this is the entire mock, quick B-roll footage of just the build. So that's what you're looking at. And that's your clone. This is my MandRMOCtober clone base for 2020 for MNR Productions contest, YouTube contest. And as I've had to, and as the rule said, I had to include a 501st minifigure in a reasonable or suitable theme. And I feel like this is very suitable. It is Clone Wars themed. So I believe this is allowed. I hope it is. I really would be upset if I was told this is not allowed. This is, I'm not allowed to enter with this. But to my knowledge, all should be fine. I should be allowed to enter. So yeah, and I'm just going to end on the 501st being at their best. So this was LEGO Military Mocks, and I'll see you next time. Peace.